Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And today is Tuesday, and I thought we would take a look at one of the lessons that's assigned for morning prayer, and that is the letter of Blessed Paul the Apostle to the Corinthians. We're on the 10th chapter, beginning at the first verse. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and all were baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, and they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. But with many of them God was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now these things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. Neither be idolaters as some of them were, as it was written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for examples, and they were written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed, lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, and will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are also able. But with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Okay, so here's a wonderful example of why it is we need to know the Old Testament, right? The books of the original covenant between God and the people of the Jews, right? The descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Old Testament is the foundation for our faith, Jesus Christ being the fulfillment of God's promise to send a Messiah. We have to know the history of God's interaction with his particular chosen people in order for us to understand why it is that Jesus Christ, the second person of the Trinity, took human flesh and dwelt among us and did the things that he did while on earth in fulfillment of God's promise to the people of the Jews. Now, I have to say, this year I decided as a New Year's resolution, right here I am in March, and I'm already still going through keeping one of my New Year's resolutions this year, and that is that I listen to a daily podcast. It's the Bible through the year with a Roman Catholic priest named Father Mike Schmitz, and I've been enjoying that very much. And of course, we went through Genesis at the beginning, and so all of these things he talks about as well in there, about how all of these are a foretaste, this whole story of the Exodus, ultimately a foretaste of what the people, us, all of us, are going to be able to do through Jesus Christ, right? He drank from the rock, boom, that rock was Christ, right? It's one of the things we talk about. It talks about how there are people who will do wrong, and we know from the people of the Jews that they did all sorts of things wrong. They tempted God. They worshipped a false idol. They made a golden calf, and they worshipped it while Moses was up on the mountain getting the law. Gone 40 days, they got a little nervous. What's going on? We better make ourselves some sort of God so that we can worship it, right? People have the need to worship. Unfortunately, they made an idol. And so all of these things they did wrong, and yet God doesn't abandon them. He punishes their sin, right? So the ones that committed fornication, they fell in one day, right? 320,000. And some of them, when the temptation was happening, people were bit by snakes. And of course, Moses then held up a serpent in the wilderness on a stick, right? And if I be lifted up, right? That's how they were healed, was by gazing upon the snake, right? You've seen a physician's pole. The emblem for a physician is a snake wrapped around a pole. That's where that image comes from Genesis. And here it is that if it be that, that they were destroyed of serpents, they were tempted, and yet Jesus Christ is our remedy for sin. He is our remedy through forgiveness on the cross. He was lifted up to draw all men to himself, just as that serpent was raised up in the wilderness. So that's why we need to know our Old Testament. Those of them are very, very important. But of course, the ending is what catches most people. And most people really sum it up as is that, God won't give us any more than we can handle, right? There's no temptation that God hasn't felt, and through Jesus Christ, of course, and he won't give us any temptation that we can't bear and get beyond, right? And so many people will say that, sum it up as, that God won't give us anything more than we can handle. And as my dear former parishioner in my last parish, Helen Connick, used to say, I know God won't give me more than I can handle, but I really wish he didn't have such a high opinion of me. And she could say that with love and charity because she really knew Jesus Christ as her Savior and loved him. So today's Tuesday, Holy Communion today at 12:15. I do hope you can join us live or on the live stream. And may God bless you.